All right, welcome in. Happy summer. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July week. We are officially off dead period, which means these two coaches are coaching. And if you saw me on SEC After Dark, you knew that I was wearing a red shirt and my face matched, which is why I'm not wearing red tonight. So you could see a little bit of contrast between my face and my shirt. But joining me on this Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Network, presented by Betonline.ag, is my main man, the offensive coordinator at Ware County, former UGA wide receiver, Israel Troop. Man, what's going on?
Oh, man, just living the dream over here. Just love reading the paper these days. Yeah,
it's great, right?
Well, I think we got a lot to say about that. So it's going to be a fun show. If you guys haven't been reading the paper, I'm going to let you know exactly what it says and how I feel about it as well.
Well, Israel's about to go off on a rant here. It's Dawgs versus the AJC. That's the theme of the show. We talked about it a little bit last night on SEC After Dark. So if you want to hear my preliminary thoughts on that whole thing, you can check that out. We briefly touched on it before we got off the rails. But this show, like I said, is presented by Betonline.ag, your number one source for all your online sports gambling needs. So when the MLB cranks back up, college football is right around the corner. We'll talk about some early betting lines as we move closer to the season. BetOnline has everything that you need: props, live betting, online casino. They have futures that you can bet on. Anything that you want in the sports betting world, BetOnline has it there for you. All you have to do is go to the website, betonline.ag, or you can use your mobile device. I'm about 95% sure there's an app now. You can go there, create an account, and make your first deposit and use that promo code Bleav. That's BLEAV. There you go. There's a little head motion. You get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit, which means they will give you half of your deposit on top of what you already deposit. So it's like free money. So go ahead to betonline.ag today. Betonline.ag. It's where the game starts. Okay. So in the blue corner, you have the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. In the red corner is them Dawgs, which on the 17th, Monday night, there is a documentary on SEC Network produced by ESPN Films called Them Dawgs. So make sure you watch that as well. But Israel, I'm going to let you take these gloves off. I'm going to let you go. Should we stop reading the AJC? What is going on with this whole battle with the AJC? Why do they hate us so much? What's going on? I'm gonna turn it over to you. I'm gonna let you roll with it.
Oh man, I'm never one to blast journalists or anything like that. We have a really good guy down here, but I'll stand Wade Cross that I'm really good friends with. Dash and Rab and those guys that do such a great job for us at UGA. Some may say they're biased, but I mean, they're our paper, but between the red and black, which they've gotten better. So I can't really put them in this category anymore, but the AJC has completely decided that it is UGA season. Last I checked, there's 5-6 other colleges, just in that vicinity. But they seem to just navigate toward Georgia right now, and it is the same thing every single time. You were just talking, okay, let's just go in order, all right? Let's talk about speeding tickets and things like that, okay?
Speeding tickets.
Let's give these kids NILs. Let's give these kids all this money, and let's give them track hawks and whatever these cars are called these days. I don't have one, so
Dodge Chargers, a lot of them drive Chargers.
And let's expect them to go the speed limit, the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. Now, you should do that, but you're giving a 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kid a car that goes really, really fast and expect them to just go speed limit. That's not smart, in my opinion. Should they have –
and not to cut – yeah. And not to cut you off, but when I went from my Jeep to my 4Runner, which was a 4-cylinder to a V6, I got like 3 speeding tickets within like a couple of months. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I get it.
It's like, all right, take your kid to the candy store. All right. Don't touch one piece of candy in here. All right. And usually you're going to throw a temper tantrum or you're going to end up coming out with bad candy. One of the two.
Yeah.
You know, so for us to keep harping on this now, it happens. So Kirby Smart has, and I was there when he talked about it. He has brought in counselors. They brought in the GSP. They brought in the Athens Clark chef and the police there and everything to kind of talk to the kids about it. Okay, cool. They've done their due diligence. But you still are dealing with 17, 18, 19-year-old kids that are still going to try to figure it out. Don't speed. What are you going to do? First thing you're going to do. You're going to speed. You're going to try to see how fast that car goes. You know? So, I mean, they're kids, you know? And just like an adult, you know, they're going to make mistakes every once in a while. You know, but we don't have to keep harping on it. You have to keep saying that Kirby Smart has lost the program. You know, he's doing everything he can, but at the end of the day, you know, the kids have to make a decision as well. You know, as a head coach, you know, you're with me this amount of time, right? But when you leave me, now the decisions that you make are on you. And
there's a whole punishment matrix for that. Like, you get a speeding ticket. Like, you're not going to get kicked off the team for a speeding ticket. You're probably not even going to get run or anything. You're just going to go pay the fine. Like, paying the fine is the punishment, and that suffices. And then so on down the line. Like, I don't know what would have happened to Jalen Carter had he not declared for the draft. If he was actually coming back this year, I don't know what the punishment would have been, but I'm sure there would have been something, right?
Absolutely. As adults, who doesn't go 90-65? And if you're listening to this podcast, you have gone 90-65 for 70. I do it all the time.
Yeah, if my car could, I probably would. Start shaking,
you know, so,
rattling.
So you're going to sit here and judge these kids of something that adults do? That's the thing that makes me mad, is that adults are judging kids of the things that they've either done or still doing. You know, so it's the pot calling the kettle back, and then you can sit here, we can go at everybody's history and figure out things that you've done. You know, either it just wasn't recorded or anything like that, but you've done some shady things in your entire life. Everybody has, no matter who you are. At one point, you've done something that just wasn't quite right. You know, you want to sit here and judge and write these stories about young men that they want to attack one of the greatest person that you'll ever meet when you go to Georgia, and Brian Gant. That is absolutely not happening at all.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about that.
Yeah.
He was there when I was there. He's been there for a long time.
And you can speak, you speak on Brian Gant before I do, of how he loves the Georgia Bulldogs, and he loves every single one of us as players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is right there all the time. And it's not just legal issues. Like, he's there supporting whatever you need, whenever you need it. Guess who's the first? You probably take a guess who the first one there is.
Yeah.
Brian,
no matter what.
Brian Gant. Yeah. And I mean, you always see him. He's visible. He's visible when things are good, visible when things are bad. He's there to support no matter what. He's got a role on the sidelines. He's kind of the get back coach guy. He's just there. You just see him everywhere. And that's good. And it's not just, he's the guy that bails him out. He's the guy that, you know, he's going to try to get him off on murder. And that's just simply not the case. Like, and that's what the picture that is being painted is that Bryant Gant is that guy, which I know from personal experience he's not, because I've seen him countless times. You know, hey, this guy had car troubles. He needs a lift to take his car to the shop, and he needs to borrow a car. Like, he's going to do that, right? And I don't think that's illegal, but you know, he's going to set you up with academic support. He's going to help you navigate if you do get a ticket, or if you do get something that it requires more than just call in, see what the fine is, and pay it. Like, he's going to help you navigate that. That's what he does. He's he's got law background. So,
Yes.
and for people to attack that,
he
like,
does have a law background. Yes.
yeah. And he's a lawyer at heart. Like, this is what lawyers do. Like, this is, go figure, right? Like, the Adam Anderson situation that they brought up, like, did they expect these players not to testify if they knew something? Like, they're testifying just because they're in support of Adam Anderson, they know something that we don't, obviously, right? Because they were probably there, the ones that testified, because they're probably his best friends. They know something. I can't intelligently speak on the Adam Anderson situation. I can only say what I have seen out in public view. They testify and bring to light the details of that situation. That was handled properly. So that was a huge swing and miss. As soon as they figured it out, they're like, oh, he'd let him play with rape charges. He didn't know about the rape charges. As soon as he found out, bye. This is serious. Like, bye. Go handle your stuff. Good luck to you. We still love you, but
You can't be your big dog.
We can't defend that. We can't be there, And the Jamal Jarrett thing. Did you see any charges?
I didn't even know it even happened. Had no clue.
Did you see any charges though?
No. I talked to one of my buddies, that lives up there in Athens. Like, nobody knew about that at all. So
it was consensual.
It was like,
it was all consensual.
What the hell happened?
And she's older. She was 20 and he was 16. He's technically still a minor.
Yeah. So who should be the one being charged? Something, if there was something to be charged with, that when you read the whole report, like, nothing really happened.
Yeah. When they released the text messages, I was just like, dumbfounded. I was like, what am I reading? Like, this is like, there's no, like, they didn't exchange any harsh words, nothing. Like, he recorded her and then deleted it. Said he deleted it. Did you ever see a video that came out? No, there was nothing. Like, you would see that video, or there would be wind of that video if he released it, right?
TMZ would be licking their chops if there was a video of anything right now with Georgia being involved.
Wait, you misspelled TMZ. It's supposed to be AJC. But you would have seen the video, right?
Oh, no doubt.
And they released the text chain, right? And you saw the whole text exchange. Was that fabricated? I mean, in the world of deep fakes and the internet being the internet, could it have been a fake? Maybe, but I doubt it.
I doubt it, because you didn't hear about it. You didn't know about it until that story came out.
Yeah. And then the AJC breaks some story and you're like, what? And then they have this. And of course, the sensational headline.
Oh, yeah. This guy came up and he's kind of comes up and talks to the cops and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that doesn't sound like anybody that would be so calm in that situation. It would be a traumatic type deal to where this story would be a little bit more dramatic as I'm reading it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, the AJC right now is male cow feces. I can't say what I want to say. Of everything that they want to write is going on right now. I'm not investigative journalism is not their strong suit right now, because everything they've investigated has been either proved or it's just been a lie or proven lie, or just been a straight up
fabricated lie. I think the legal term is fabricated, because you have a chance at a legitimate lawsuit.
Like, y'all are terrible people too. Now, here's my thing. What if that's your kid? Like, what if that's your child that you're sitting here just trying to get clickbait on?
Yeah, that's not good, man. That's just not.
You know how many?
It's just not how you do business.
Daggum people we saw whose parents are tops here in Georgia. When I was at Georgia, doing stuff that really wasn't so good. I'll get it because we have a bigger spotlight on us because we're football players or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, you know, this guy, he works at so and so, and he's a pretty big name. I just saw what his kids just did.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
you can't throw stones, man, because it's going to come right back at you. You know, like I just don't get it. And UGA, good on them. 4,800 word letter, basically just shack dunking all over the AJC, which was good to see.
Yes, and there was I saw like one snippet that just made me so happy was where's the proof? Basically, is what the paragraph said. And like, prove it. Like, prove to me this is the source. This is what you did. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're right, you know, basically that if you're right, then hey, you good. But none of the stories,
I will take back everything I say. If you're right, we will address the problem.
Yeah. And I don't understand, why do you continue to keep writing? Like, kid gets a damn speeding ticket. It's a speeding ticket.
Clicks. They know they're going to get clicks. They know they're going to get talked about. It's all
the program. All right, well, tell you what other things have we done?
Let's go through the issues. What issues have we had? You had the Jeremiah Holloman thing, right? He got kicked off the team pretty quick. You had the Adam Anderson thing. He got kicked off the team pretty quick, right?
There's two things that they just keep wanting to harp on: speeding and, you know, the whole sexual abuse thing, which all of them have been taken care of accordingly.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with how they were handled. Now
I didn't tell you. I think that's the problem. Is because it wasn't this big whole story of UGA does this with this and this. I don't think it's any of their business how it's being handled as far as the punishment and everything, as long as it's being handled.
Yeah, and if
the right way. Let me preface that by saying the right way.
Yeah, if it's being handled the right way, if the punishment meets the crime,
yes,
then now Kirby does have a leg to stand on if you get a speeding ticket for going like 20 over and meeting Coach Sinclair at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, he does have a leg to stand on now because he's had all these people come in and talk. But again, the punishment fits the crime, you know? And if you get caught, there are consequences. There always have been. It's not like this rogue program where, like, it's just.
It's never been a rogue program, ever. And so I'm not understanding. But I was telling one of my buddies this today. It wouldn't be a national championship type deal if there wasn't any controversy.
I mean, there's going to be some. I mean, kids are kids. They're going to get in trouble, right?
And
we haven't been issue free.
No, every school has it. But have you heard anything come out of Tuscaloosa? Anything come out of Gainesville?
No.
Anything come out
only the huge stuff. Only the major stuff. Like, only the stuff that would be grounds for dismissal.
Mm-hmm. And then that story isn't even as big as these. Like, every week there's something. Every week. Like, why do we need to report a kid that gets a speeding ticket? He didn't get arrested. He got a speeding ticket.
Yeah. And God forbid if he ever, Lord help us if one of our players ever emerges from an alley. You're just going to have to fire Kirby and shut the program down if that happens again. Good Lord.
Just lost. Him and his staff has just lost the program, even though you're still getting 5-star commits every other day.
Yeah, you think parents are going to keep – you're exactly right. You think parents are going to keep sending their kids?
I would send my kid there if the program's that bad.
Yeah.
Why do you think people weren't going to Tennessee during that period when Pruitt was there? Because they knew about it's the McDonald's bags, but they knew what was going on with that program.
Yeah, they but you never heard about it. But they knew something because they weren't going there.
You still
the Knoxville Sentinel.
Everything hit the fan.
The Knoxville Sentinel has not released any information about anything happened in the Pruitt era. And what we know about Pruitt, because the AJC likes to blab, is that he's a loose cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So just based on his history, his reported history at Georgia, and just based on one incident where he allegedly showed up at Coach Rick's house hammered, ready to fight during an official visit weekend, there's got to be some shred of truth to that. And that that's some personality flaws that Jeremy Pruitt has, and something has happened in Knoxville besides the McDonald's bags. But did you hear about it? No.
I didn't even know that about the whole showing up to Coach Rick's.
Yeah, that was in like 14, I think. Yeah.
No clue.
It's like the beginning of the end for Coach Rick.
See what I mean, man? See, I don't know. Never heard it.
Oh yeah, that was actually dog vent lore right there too. I mean, I don't know. Let's do a little comparison then.
Don't believe the AJC guys. Listen, unless Rad, Dash, or anything the UGA comes out with word for word, because they will report it as well, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
And I hate it for the kids. Now, if they're messing up, now they're messing up. Now, I'm not saying that we should give preferential treatment or anything like that. I'm saying if you get a speeding ticket, get a speeding ticket. Everybody's human. Everybody gets a speeding ticket. All the things that have happened that they're reporting on has been, taken care of. Those guys are either no longer on the team, and they're doing whatever they got to do to, make their situation right. So I think everything in Georgia is being handled correctly, despite all the negativity that AJC is trying to bring. And as a former player to the new guys and stuff up there, guys, just be careful. You clearly have eyes on you, 1,000% of the time. Be careful who you hang out with. Put the phones down and slow down, please. Okay, that's the easy solution. Rough out here in the streets for you guys. They're just looking for something now, and it's sad that your own paper, is doing this because they don't have anything else to write on.
If you think we're just sour grapes, it makes it real bad. If you think we're just sour grapes, go look around. Go poke around. Like, go look at all the feedback that people are giving the AJC. Like, go look at it. I mean, I'm sure
I don't know. UGA pissed them off. Now, I was going to say go say sorry. Don't go say sorry now. Just send more legal documents and letters to them for all the not so wonderful things they've said about this great university.
Send the legal documents and keep it moving. Well, let's compare. Let's compare coverage. Let's compare actual issues here. I mean, I'm sure and you being a player in a college Division I locker room, I do want to get your opinion on this, and I do want to see your side of this. But the whole Pat Fitzgerald situation, how that was handled, how that was covered, there's a lot of different angles here, I guess. But just initially, what are your thoughts on that?
I was super surprised. I've never heard a bad thing said about, Coach Fitzgerald. He's been there for forever. So, clearly, he does a great job, with what he has and the things he's done at Northwestern and things like that. So I was mind blown, when I first heard it. I was like, what in the world is going on? So if it's true, then, hey, they did what they were supposed to do. But if it's not, which I'm you hear a lot of things. You hear from former players, former guys who've worked with him and things like that, that say there's no truth to this story at all. So I hope it's not true, and I hope he sues the absolute, out of Northwestern if it comes back to being not true. But, it's a slippery slope, man. Just as well as I do in this coaching business, man, everything you do is being watched. You might make the wrong kid mad, and all of a sudden, you're in the principal's office, you're sitting in front of your superintendent, for nothing really, so I hope it's not a situation like that, because the hazing deal is really, 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 really bad, and that's the PG way of putting it. So it's just a tough deal because I've never heard anything bad about him, like at all, from like one person.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
And then this comes out like boom, then he's fired like a week later.
Yeah.
Like, dang.
So if that stuff is going on in the locker room, I mean, I don't feel like a Division I head coach can have any plausible deniability. You look back at, of course, this is the absolute most extreme example of a case like this with Penn State, but like Joe Paterno didn't know the stuff was going on, didn't make it okay, and got fired basically because he just was not aware, oblivious, and that sometimes is just as bad as actually knowing about it and condoning it. And that's what I kind of felt like the administrators, they're like, okay, that's our angle. Like,
yes,
like you knew this was going on. And you knew something was going on, whether all of this, there's something in that's true. Don't know what it is, but there's something in there that is true. And all the stuff that I've read, if any of that is true, if any singular thing of that is true, to me, now I haven't been in a college locker room, so maybe you can fill in the gaps here. But like the thing I read about the purge mask situation, like that type of stuff doesn't happen, right?
No.
Like I know if you listen to the Kristen LeMay episode, like you guys had like what locker wars or something, like was fill in some gaps.
Like everybody's clothed, first of all. So that's number one. That's number one rule of having road wars. All right. But it's just like a big wrestling match. Like you're trying to pull another guy from one row to your row, basically like Battleship or something like that. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to take your territory, basically, so like the things that I read, like where do they do that at? Like what school does that? What young men do that? First of all, that was my first initial thought. Like what young men do that? All right. Like, here it is. Here's another question. If all that's going on, like at Georgia, our equipment staff they're kind of in there with us. They're not in the locker room, but they're around, So where are the equipment people? And I was reading a letter from one of the equipment guys that said that Coach Fitzgerald was like one of the best guys you ever been around.
Yeah, something's very fishy about this.
Where did this come from?
The fact that nobody has said anything leads me to believe that they're keeping this. They were trying to keep this hush hush for as long as possible, and somebody blew the whistle. But
difference between this and what happened at Iowa. Think about all this stuff that happened at Iowa. The homeboy still has a job, but you fired Coach Fitzgerald within 2 weeks. But that stuff at Iowa was proven. Your own strength coach even got fired.
Yeah, but they don't fire the head coach. It's because the head coach and the AD or one of my good friends that I do shout out to, Illegal Motion College Football Podcast. He's an Iowa guy. He's an Iowa fan. Hates Kirk Ferentz now. Used to like him, but hates him now. It's like he's done with him. He's like ready to get rid of Kirk and Brian Ferentz experience. He's done with it, and he was flabbergasted that went on, and Kirk Ferentz is still there. Like how does that happen? Like you this is your culture. You hired the guy. Yeah,
it's video proof. Everybody saw it. Like your first round pick said it. I mean, what else do you need? But you still have a job, you know.
Yeah.
And then this stuff comes out, which nowadays, kids like touch on each other now in the locker room, like boys. They always play and stuff. You see it all. They horseplay all the time. I tell them all, quit touching on each other. Because they just play a lot. They run and chase each other around, things like that.
But fully clothed,
yes,
is one thing. Wrestling is one thing.
Locker room like that ever.
Yeah, and every locker room probably has that one guy that just is a little few cards short of full deck, a little bit too free. Probably like every locker room's had this. Every high school and college locker room probably has one or two of these guys that just are a little too free. They like to play naked pranks. They're usually pretty harmless, and people usually just laugh and carry on. It's nothing that would cause any psychological damage or anything. But like, can you imagine walking into a locker room, lights go out, you get bum rushed, and all of a sudden you've got a dozen naked guys with masks on humping you because you messed up out on the practice field?
I guarantee you this, okay? Between Danielle Ellerby, Marcus Howard, Marcus Washington, Randy Kern, myself, who else on our row? Rod Battle, all of us were all on the same row, okay?
You had a badass row.
Coming down on that row. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, if you're naked, you better be like close to putting your underwear on. Is that kind of like you just got out of the shower and you're just putting your clothes on?
You were either going to the shower or you were coming out of the shower and you were putting your clothes on. Like, where do they do that at, is my question. Like, that story doesn't even sound believable. Now, it could be true. I'm not saying that it can't be true, but that story just don't sound believable.
What makes it believable is the lights. What makes it believable is the lights. And there's some weird things that happen.
Yeah, our light, we don't turn lights out or anything like that.
No.
And as a coach as I do now, as soon as the lights go out, you already know what's going to happen. Something to get thrown, somebody's going to get hit in a trash can. That's what happens when the lights go out. When I was in school, like I don't know anybody in a mask running around naked. Like nobody got naked when the lights went out. I don't understand.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get, and I hope that story's not true. I hope there's not people out there that are like that sick and weird and twisted that would do something like that. But like the naked slingshotting, the car wash thing that you read about, the naked quarterback center exchanges, like what's with the nudity? Like why is why are we getting naked? What's with the nudity? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like I'm all for a good practical joke, but like with clothes on.
If full disclosure here, at UGA, none of this ever happened. Okay, like everybody was clothed, and if you weren't clothed, we looked at you kind of weird, like, "Hey, bro, can you put your clothes on?" Like it was like none of that.
So
it's hard. It's really, like I said, once again, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it's hard for me to believe that a bunch of dudes are naked running around the locker room, touching on each other. We didn't do that. Now it's a new generation, but it was never. We would crack jokes on you. It was our hazing. Like that was, Brian Evans, Donovan Baldwin, Brent Miller. Let's see who else. Darius Dewberry, Donnell Ellerby, even Momass, Muhammad Massaquoi. Those guys, like, you got joked on. You know what I mean? Like that. Mm-hmm. That was if you were getting hazed for something, like, you got joked on. Like, that was it. So all
that was like your freshman initiation.
No, like, that was everyday occurrence. You never know. Like, you had to be ready for DBs. DBs are like the funniest people on the team. So I learned real quick. If you don't have anything to say like back, like they'll never forget it. They'll pick on you the whole time. So, like, you got to be quick with it. But that was our hazing. Like, if that's what you would call hazing, like, that was it.
But that's not bad. I mean, that's complete. Like, every workplace you go into, every school you go into, every locker room you go into, they're joking on each other.
Oh yeah.
But you read these these northern schools, like it just seems to happen at a lot of these northern schools.
Oh yeah.
Like, you read like Boston College, University of Boston, Harvard, like all these like hazing scandals come from the Northeast. Yeah,
I think we fight down here. We throw hands real quickly. If you touch me the wrong way, like, you get hit. If it was an aggressive grab, like, you grab me aggressively. You know, it could turn into a brawl like real fast.
And I remember a situation in high school where this dude was bench pressing, and this other dude flopped his thing out onto his forehead while he was benching, and there was a fight.
There's got to be a fight.
It was a fight. There was a fight, and guess what? Never happened again.
He never did it again. If
no one did
it, he won't again.
Yeah, like, no one, like, everyone saw that and was like, "What are you doing? Why?"
Right.
I was like, "That's not even funny."
Like, it's not. It's so not funny. Like, I might go, like, "Why do you do that, bro?"
It's just not funny, man. I was like, that you just don't like we had the naked free guy. He did this thing called a Rolex where he would wrap his, around his wrist and say, "Hey, check out my Rolex." Like, no one ever laughed at it, really. He just kept trying to, like,
he never touched anybody. Like,
no, he didn't touch anybody.
It was like, he was the naked dude. He was that guy. Let yourself spoke up. He was that guy. That was him.
Yeah, he was that guy. And everybody kind of just chuckled at him, and he kind of got a laugh out of it, and that was that. Like, he ended up becoming an Army Ranger.
Go figure.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a little too free, but, like, it wasn't a big deal.
Rolex to help him save the country.
Yeah.
Fighting for this country.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
basically how that works.
So yeah.
I just can't believe, like you said, you've been at Georgia too, so you gotta know, like, it just don't go on. And even as a coach now, as a player, the stuff that I read about, it just don't happen. It don't happen down here anyways. Because, like I said, we fight down here. But, I just can't see it. I just can't see it happening down here. I just
don't get it. So, like, it makes me just, I mean, I don't know. Like, we just don't know enough to know if the firing was the right move. But, like, if they moved this quickly on the firing, they found something. They're just not telling you.
Something's got to be there's got to be something where he knew of some activity. Might not know the full extent of it, but he knew of some activity and it just wasn't corrected, or just kept going.
It's a combination of going 1-11 and the attempted plausible deniability.
Just fire him. Like, that's what you want to do. You want to move a new direction. Just fire him so the man can at least get a new job after this. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to ruin the man's career just because you want to get rid of him. Just get rid of him.
Yeah. And I hope it wasn't one of those, hey, let's try to find something.
Yeah, this is one of those, let's try to find something so we don't have to pay the money. That's what it sounds like. And if I was him, if this ain't true, oh no, I'm finna get all of it and then some.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna, like, if I'm Pat Fitzgerald, I'm going to sue.
Everything
win or lose, it's the right move.
Will have my name on it. Be Pat Fitzgerald Field, Pat Fitzgerald Practice Field, Pat Fitzgerald Academic Center. Like, I would own Northwestern. And I would have a box seat every game, and I would sit there and wave at people all the time.
With my purge mask on.
Like, this is what y'all got before.
Yeah.
I'd be that petty.
Yeah. I would.
I just don't see, I just don't see, I've never seen anything like that happen in the locker room before.
Yeah. But at the same time,
never seen it.
But at the same time, if any bit of that is true, you can't have
he got his back what he deserved.
Yeah, you can't have that. Like you can't let that go unnoticed. Noticed or unnoticed, you can't let it happen. So I guess this will continue to unfold.
But you still have to know that.
You still have to know, and you still have to act on it. Like, if he would have just acted on it. Yeah, somebody knows something.
You did.
Yeah, somebody knows something. Like, this is just eerily quiet on the Pat Fitzgerald front. Like, it's just like they fired him, and you just, there's
it happened so quick, and nothing else has come out of it since the fire.
So that leads me to believe that something's true. Something happened. Whether it was the purge mask thing, something happened. The president was like, "Okay, I got to fire this dude. I got to fire this dude." Like, I'm thinking, he probably got the image in his mind and was like, "Okay, got to fire." Yeah. And I don't care if you knew about it or not. That doesn't count. When you're a Division I head coach and I'm paying you millions, that don't count. We ain't Penn State.
No.
So the president did what he had to do. Like, I don't blame the president of Northwestern. He did what he had to do with the information that he was given. We're not privy to all of that information. We're not privy to everything.
Okay.
What's that?
Is Northwestern in Chicago?
Yeah. Basically.
So like the Chicago Tribune would be their big newspaper, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I still haven't seen a whole lot of stuff from them about that. To get back to our own point.
They don't care about Northwestern, though. They don't care. They don't care.
But still,
I know. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Picking up what I'm putting down, it goes back to what's important. Who has the plan here? What's the vendetta here?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like somebody's mad over there.
Why is our speeding tickets to put a nice bow on tonight's show? Why is the AJC worried more about UGA speeding tickets than they are about the Braves, who are the best team in Major League Baseball right now? The Falcons, who just drafted a weapon in Bijan Robinson.
The highest paid running back in, I think, history of rookie year deals, I think it's it.
Mm-hmm. Like, why aren't we reporting that?
The NL All-Stars was predominantly all Atlanta Braves players or former Atlanta Braves players that played in the World Series.
Where's that article? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
They ain't promoting that. Nah. Speeding tickets. Yeah, speeding tickets.
Yeah. Apparently we're out here thugging too hard out here at UGA, apparently. Thugga.
You just put on your hat there, thugga.
Yeah.
Right. So,
hey man,
all right.
We got 47 days, 48 days.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's coming. Yep. We're getting there, man. We're rapidly approaching. So I'm excited. I know you're excited. But let's bottle that excitement. for the next episode. And we're going to come back at you.
Out between now and then.
Yeah. I want to start talking about some like actual football, not the AJC.
Yeah. This is the last one for y'all, AJC. We appreciate y'all. Not.
Yeah. Peace out. All right. That's going to do it for us. We went into extra time because, that's just what we do. So for Israel Troop, I'm Corey Burton. This is the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Network. Like and subscribe. Follow us, not the AJC. Follow us. You can see all the places you can follow us right down here below, YouTube, and anywhere you get your podcast plus social media. Follow all of us. Our personal handles are right here. At Bleav in Dawgs is right over there on the side there. So follow all of our accounts. Trying to get to that magical 500 number so we can get that money. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week. Go Dawgs.
Go Dawgs.
Do you believe?